Welcome, everybody, to our second week of this theme, Temptations. Genesis, tell us a little bit about why we chose this theme.
Well, because it is October and we celebrate we don't celebrate Halloween. Other people celebrate Halloween.
Yeah, and it's kind of a tricky time. Whether we should be part of it, whether being part of it is okay. So we're kind of in that, but we're here to get real connections with God so that with that real connection, we can overcome that temptation that comes to us. And Genesis, tell us a little bit about what iConnect is going through right now and what we got going on for our people.
Well, I connect this week. I mean, not this week. Sorry, this month we're gonna be talking about temptations all month. We also have podcasts every Thursday night and an Instagram live every Thursday night as well at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we got a lot of things happening so that if you can't join us on the Facebook Live, you can look for us on Instagram, look for us on YouTube, and you can also look at our Facebook Lives later on in the day if you can't connect with us right in the moment. But we want to see that you guys are here, so comment, share, like, subscribe, do everything so that we know that you guys are here. We want to see you, we want to interact with you, and we want you guys to be connected with us so that we can help all of each other get a good connection with Christ throughout this temptation series. We're going to hand over now the spotlight to our social media expert, Mimi.
Hey guys, once again, welcome to iConnect. So like Sarai said, this month we are going through temptations and the most common temptations that we go through in life. So if you guys want to follow us, well, I think most of you already have, but for the new people that are watching us probably for the first time, if you guys want to see more into what iConnect is, we have our Instagram page and Facebook page, which is all Poinciana Youth District. And also look at our Spotify account so you can see our podcasts that go on every Thursday. And you can go back and look at them whenever it's convenient for you. And yeah, and also we have our Instagram, IGTVs, and again our podcast. So today's a really special lesson, and I hope you guys enjoy. And now we're gonna show you another program that we have in our churches, what it's called Pathfinders, and we're gonna see a little bit more what it is and a little bit of explanation what it is. So I hope you guys enjoy it and don't miss this video out.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. What is that you're wearing?
Oh, this is my Pathfinder shirt.
Pathfinders, what is that?
Oh, have you ever heard of the clubs, either Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts?
Definitely, yes.
Well, Pathfinders has the same kind of concept. The only difference is that we introduce our youth into God's ministry. So we go through the same things. We go through campouts, we go through honors, we get to meet new kids, but we also introduce them to Jesus.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
Yes, it is. It is so much fun. So if you know of anybody that will be a benefit from this kind of club, we invite you to bring them in. Also, if you know of anybody that will benefit from a club like this, we invite you to welcome them into this club. So contact either your pastor, your club directors, anybody from our district will be able to help you out and guide you in through our club. So welcome to Pathfinders, coming soon to one of your churches. Thank you.
Hey guys, happy Sabbath. It's Diego here, and I am super happy to see all you guys tuning in to our iConnect service today. It's so good. And today I have some ways to help you guys get a fantastic relationship with Christ, as always, but we're going to put a little twist on this. So as you know, our theme this month is temptations, and we're going to talk about ways to get a good connection with Christ that we've had before. Some will be a little bit of review, but we're also going to be exploring some of the aspects on how to avoid temptations with them. So this is a special edition connection segment with avoiding temptations along with getting a fantastic connection with God. So our first way of the day for a better connection with God, it is by remembering to take care of your body by controlling what you're putting in, what food and drinks you're putting in. So our bodies, we only got one body that God's worked so hard on, and it's our temple also. And so if we follow that God's plan for health, because God wants us to be healthy, that way we can have the strength to, go on and do his work. And if we follow that plan, we're following God. And as a result, by following God, we get closer to him because we're following him. We're letting him influence us and lead our lives. But also, it helps you avoid the temptation. And I say this because whenever you go to 7-Eleven to fill in gas for your car, you won't feel tempted to buy 10 slushies and 20 chocolate bars. Instead, you'll buy an apple or something. So it's important to avoid those temptations and for getting a good connection with Christ. Now, our second way of the day to avoid the temptations along with getting a fabulous connection with God, it is by continuing to listen to Christian music, but also by filtering out all this bad music that's coming out today, stuff that's gives, bad messages. And so it's important to better remain in God's connection by listening to more Christian music, these songs. And we've talked about this before, how you hear the message from the Christian songs and, relays in your head and influences you. Well, in the same way, bad music can influence you to a really bad extent. So you got to make sure that even though you're listening to Christian music, that you're also taking out all the bad music. Because then, whenever you're you're just listening to good music, or that's how your bounce is, and you're just thinking, I will praise you in the storm, I will lift my hands, then you have that message going on, and it gets you closer to Christ, as well as when you're filtering out all these crazy bad songs that probably have a bad message, and they probably go something like, I don't know, like, yo, my name is Cardi B, my music stinks, or I don't know, something on those lines. Not to offend anyone, but that's the honest truth. There's a lot of music out there that's bad, and it can take you away from God. So by avoiding to listen to that bad music, you can avoid the temptation along with getting a good connection with Christ, because you're balancing it out that way. And our third and final way of the day to get a fantastic connection with God going and to avoid temptation is by applying the phrase WWJD in aspects of whenever you're dealing with peer pressure. Now, we've talked about WWJD multiple times. You guys are probably tired of hearing it, but I mean, it's important and it's a different aspect of it. We got to branch off of these aspects. And so if you have to use it to avoid peer pressure, because think about it this way, Jesus, he was tempted by the devil to do multiple things that, weren't good. And so, but he avoided that temptation. And the same way we have to avoid that temptation, that pressure. And it's like, say, whenever you're in math class and that weird acquaintance you have, you're just like, hey man, after school, you want to go out and smoke some weed? If you respond with a no, thank you, because that's what Jesus would do, then congrats to you. You are getting a good connection with Christ because you know that stuff is bad for you, and you're avoiding temptation, which in general, avoiding temptation will help you get a fabulous connection with Christ. So there we have it. A few ways to get a good connection with Christ, along with helping you avoid temptation by remembering to control what you're putting in your body, keeping your bodies clean for Christ, by avoiding listening to the bad music, along with keeping on listening to good music that praises God, and by applying the phrase WWJD to aspects of peer pressure and all those tempting things in your life. And with these ways, you can get a fabulous connection with Christ. And you guys will get super. And so that's it for our connection segment today, and on to the rest of our iConnect program.
Thank you so much, Diego, for that segment, giving us something different, something fresh, and something we all need to hear. And it's nice that you also mentioned mental health and physical health because sometimes we forget about the mental health. So thank you so much, Diego, for that segment. It's definitely something that we can all use. And now we have a special video to share with you all. Stay tuned.
Hey Dad, happy birthday. We just want us to say a few words. We love you very much, and we know that you do so much for us, and you work really hard to give us everything we have now, so we really, really appreciate it. And you're honestly the best father we could ever have.
Even though you act like a kid most of the time.
Yeah, a lot of the time. But yeah, we really, really love you.
And keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we support you all the way, and thank you for supporting us always. We love you.
Happy birthday, Eliu.
Thank you
for
being
our
second
father.
And I want to thank you for all the things you have taught me over the years.
And thank you for being an amazing role model.
We love you.
Happy birthday, Eliud. I hope you had a good time on your birthday and you spent it with the people that you love. And you are a cool guy. And thank you for always supporting the Jóvenes and just giving us advice on how to move on in our lives. Thank you. Bye.
Hey Eliu, hope you had a great birthday. Thank you for being so great with the youth, and God bless you.
Hola Eliud, cumplir años es siempre una bendición, así que te deseo lo mejor en este día tan especial y que Dios continúe bendiciéndote a ti y a tu familia.
Hi, Eliu. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I am so thankful for you, and so are all the youth, for your availability, for always sticking up for us and always giving us a chance here at church. You've never let us down. You've always shown us that we are so much more capable of what we think. And thank you for always giving us an opportunity to share the gospel with the church and in different ways. Have a happy birthday. God bless.
So we want to wish you a happy birthday, Eliu. He is one of the ancianos of our church, one of the elders, and he is always with the youth. So we want to dedicate this moment to pray for him. And we want to know if any of you guys have any specific prayer requests. Please comment down below. If we're not able to pray for it at this moment, we will definitely keep it in mind so that we can keep praying for you throughout the week. We want to pray for you, and we know that God listens to us whenever we pray. And we want to make sure that we are able to pray for all of you. So let's have a moment of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much, God, for listening to us, for taking care of us, and for your constant protection. Thank you because even though we don't deserve this love that you give us, you still give it anyways. And even in moments where we may be unfaithful, moments where we're not loyal to you, Father, you still show us your love. Father, I ask that every person that is watching this right now may be blessed through this program and that they may be gaining a real and better connection with you, Father. Those that haven't expressed any specific prayer requests, Lord, I pray that you may reach their heart and that they may see that you are working in them, Lord. And that every moment, whenever they feel in doubt, whenever they feel worried, or whenever they feel angry or sad, that they can always remember that you can take them out of there. And in the moments when they're feeling happy and excited and they feel thankful, God, I pray that they may always remember you and that you are the one that were able to get them out of those tough situations. I pray for all the youth, pray for all the leaders of all the church, and that you may continue to work through us each and every day to deliver your message. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Hi everyone, my name is Alanis, the host of the segment Let's Talk. I'm so excited because not only is this our 11th episode of iConnect, but this month we also started a new topic called God and Temptations. And I know a lot of us go through temptations. And so today we're talking about intercourse and the consequences. remember, you guys can answer the questions as I ask in the chat. And so today I brought some special guests to help us learn a little bit more about intercourse and the consequences. Here we have Abby, we have Lauri, Sarai, Diego, Hector, Genesis, Perez, and Genesis. So thank you guys, and Mimi. So thank you guys so much for joining. So let's get started. So my first question is, why do you think it's wrong to have intimacy before marriage? So we can have anybody answer. Just go ahead.
So that question is very, I guess, very out there, because a lot of people right now believe that there's no point in waiting, that there's no point in having intercourse before, and I think that a lot of people, it's going through what your body thinks that it wants, right? So we see movies, we listen to music, we see people experience different things, and then we get curious. So I think that it has to do with what our body thinks that we want. When we feel like we're not connected with the spirit, when we feel like that we're away from God, they it makes it difficult for us to go with what God wants. And I feel like we are easily led by what our heart thinks it wants, by what our body thinks it wants, and going towards the lust, rather than what the spirit wants, which is what makes it more difficult for us to overcome that situation.
Thank you so much. So does anybody else have anything to say or to add on to that?
I feel like when you take sex out of the equation from a relationship, a lot of people will then realize that it's not really something that is going to help your relationship or make it break it. It's something that just prevents a lot of problems. So I feel like once you realize that, you tell a guy, oh, hey, like, I'm in it for the long run. Like, I'm not going to have sex with you until we get married. A lot of people realize that that person isn't the person that they should be doing anything with.
Thank you so much. So that was a great answer, actually. So next, if anybody else wants to answer, if not, then we can move on to the next question. Anybody else? We have Genesis or Hector or Diego. You guys want to answer the question?
I'll add on to what Lottie said. Going on with the relationship, I feel like sometimes too, people see that as an act of love, like a way to show that they really care. And also, with us like being teenagers, we as girls sometimes go into like the mentality where like, oh, if I give him what he wants, maybe he'll stay with me, maybe he'll like love me, and like, and then that's when like it like creates problems, because once you give them what they want, they leave instead of staying. So
yes, great answer. Thank you so much. So does anybody else have anything to add on to that? Diego or Hector, do you guys have anything to add on?
I can probably just add on that I think that people do it just because, like, but I believe it was I said it's like a form of curiosity, and I think that they just see it in the movies and they want to do it. They think it's fun, or they think it's a thing, and some of it too is also because I feel like they could probably be feeling left out, because for some reason that's what teenagers want nowadays. They want to have it before they get married, and it's not right, but it's just a common trend now to see that being like the big thing. Like, if you do that, oh, you're so cool. But yeah, I think that's why some people do it, maybe. But yeah.
All right, thank you so much. That was a great answer. if nobody else has anything to add on, so we're going to move on to our next question. Okay. So the next question is, what are some of the consequences that come from making such a decision? Anybody can answer.
So before like answering that kind of question, I feel like I would also want to think about like the double standard of when a female is involved in sex and then a male is involved in sex. Usually males are praised for having sex, right? And then girls, like, you get looked at, you get looked down upon, like, oh, you just did this with this guy, or how many guys have you done it with? And if a guy goes to show, then it's like, oh, look at you, you've done it with so many girls, da, da, da. And it's like, it's something to be praised about for them. And it's just like, that's one of the consequences. It's like, you don't know what to expect from people. You don't know how people are going to look at you. You don't know what people are going to think about you. And I know you shouldn't really care about that stuff, but still, like, walking around knowing that somebody's thinking about you this way, it kind of like, it messes with your head, and it makes you think less about yourself, and it makes you forget who you really belong to, which is Jesus. And that's not the we forget. We forget who we belong to. We forget our value because other people are giving us names and putting us this type of image. And that's, I think, one of the consequences, at least mental health related. And it's something that we should think about, like, before making any kind of decision that's going to probably taint our image or our reputation. Just always remember who we come from, that people can say what they want about you. People can say that you're this, that you're that, and talk negative. But regardless of our mistakes, Jesus still loves us. And the consequences that might come about it are going to happen. But remember that you can always be saved through Christ. So it's a lot of stuff.
Thank you. That was a great answer. So if anybody else wants to add on to that, or anybody else has their own answer that they want to share, then feel free. Anybody else? Loudy, Abby, Diego, Hector?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The question is, what are some of the consequences that come from making such a decision?
If no one's gonna talk, I can say something. There's many consequences that could come from that. Like, first of all, everybody knows pregnancy can come even if it's an accident, they weren't saved maybe, and then boom, baby pops out, and that's a consequence. Another one can be possibly regret that like it didn't work out or something, or the guy or the girl possibly just wanted that, and then it happened, and that's it. The relationship is over. There can be many other consequences, but those.
Yes. Thank you so much for the answer. So, anybody else have any answers or anything they want to add on to Hector or Sarai?
I feel like nobody really talks about this, but there's also like some health consequences to it. Like, for example, lifelong diseases like HIV and some pretty other stuff like chlamydia, gonorrhea, like stuff like that. I know we're not going to get into specifics of that, but like they're pretty difficult diseases to deal with. And it's also a stigma, like if somebody has those types of like diseases, people are looked down upon, kind of like what Sarai said. And they're kind of looked at as like nobody wants to be with them and stuff like that. But those are consequences that happen, lifelong diseases and issues that can happen health-wise.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great answer. So anybody else want to add on? We have Loudy, Genesis, Diego.
I can add on. So, Abby, you kind of stole my answer there with the sexually transmitted diseases. But yeah, I wanted to that is a pretty darn big possibility with having sex before marriage. But and then also, like, what I believe it was Hector who brought this up about, pregnancy, and like that can be tough, like if you're a teenager, because that can really like twist your life around because you're not ready to have a kid at that point, and that'll just you'll have to get a job, you have to get like busy with to have a, you know, financial stuff. And then at the end point, like all these responsibilities, they can kind of hinder your relationship with Christ. So yeah, like don't do it before marriage, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for that answer. If we have anybody else that wants to answer, Jael, Genesis Perez, or Genesis Reynoso, or Laudi.
I can say something. Going off of what Sarai and everyone was saying about teen pregnancy, that is a very like difficult time to go through, because I've known people who got pregnant and it was their senior year. Actually, sorry, it was their junior year. So they had to drop out of school in order to have this pregnancy, because she was going through so much hate at school. Like all these girls were like calling her names and all this stuff. But like the baby wasn't made just by one person. It was made by two people. Therefore, I feel like both of them should have equal like consequences. But as Sarai says, the boys are praised. Their buddies are like, give them high fives, or, you know? And well, she got kicked out of her house when she got pregnant. Her dad kicked her out, and she had no support from her family. So I feel like also girls go through that sometimes their families don't support them all the way through. So they kicked her out, and here she was expecting a baby. She didn't know what to do. She fell into depression, and her boyfriend obviously he stayed with her, so they helped. So her parents helped her, but once the baby was born, they kicked both of them out of the house. So they had to like work. And I feel like before you do this, you really have to think about the consequences that come with having sex.
Yes, definitely. So thank you so much for that answer. If we don't have anybody else that has an answer, Laudi, Jael, or Genesis, then
I'll say something really quickly.
Okay.
I feel like another consequence that I remembered when Genesis was talking about how two people made a baby is also how quickly some females realize that the person they decided to have sex with and decided to have a baby with are not the right person to be having a baby with. I've seen from firsthand that, like, for example, one of my really good friends from church actually got pregnant, and she ended up realizing really late that the father of her child was not ready to be father, and they still have issues to this day. And a lot of people think that, oh man, like, she's gonna have issues with him, but it's not just through the pregnancy and after they have a kid, it's for the rest of the child's life. You have to manage co-parenting, you have to manage so much that a lot of people don't really consider.
Thank you so much for that answer. So I don't think we have anybody else that wants to answer. If we do, go ahead. But we're going to finish this part up, and I'll see you guys in a little bit with our last two questions. Happy Sabbath.
De andar sobre el mar.
¿Quién es el que puede hacer el mar callar? En el momento en que la tempestad te quiere hundir, Él viene con toda autoridad y manda calma.
Él es el hombre que tuvo poder de hacer a Israel
caminar por entre las aguas del mar rojo, y su camino en medio del mar para el pueblo de Israel pasar. Al otro lado, con sus pies secos, pudieron cantar el himno de victoria. Cuando tú estés frente al mar y lo tengas que atravesar, llama a este
task is what? To talk about the next step? So how about that first let's talk part? That was starting to get a little bit juicy. It was starting to get a little bit interesting because we're talking about maybe one of the greatest temptations that our youth is facing today, aside from drugs, aside from other things. But one of the main things that we try to stay away from is premarital sex. And we're going to continue talking about this in the next segment with a couple other questions. But we want to know what you guys have to say about this. So please comment, share, like, subscribe, follow, do what you need to do to try to get this to other people. Because this is a learning time for all of us, a time for us to get a better connection with Christ so that when a time like this comes up, where we are faced with a situation, where we are faced to make this tough decision to go through or to not go through, what are we going to do? So we want you guys to be present, show up, comment, and get ready for what we have to say for this next topic about Let's Talk.
Hello guys, how are you? Yeah, today it's a pretty interesting topic that we're talking about. But we are in the section that I like to call Get to Know the Crew. And today we have a new crew member that we're going to be interviewing and getting to know him a little bit more. So I'm going to welcome, I believe it's Hector that we're going to get to know today. So let's see if he comes on the screen. There he is. Hector. So Hector, we want to know a little bit more about you today. So my first question to you is, what would you do if you were not afraid? If there's something that you are afraid of, what would you do if you were not afraid of that thing or something?
Let's see. I guess a part of me is maybe afraid of death, but just not as much. You get me? Like everybody knows, possibly I could die tomorrow or something like that. But I'm just saying. But I guess I do a lot of adventurous stuff because I'm a very active person. And I like to do fun stuff like that. And possibly like the bungee jumping on like off of a bridge or something. Yeah.
So that you would do that if you were not afraid of doing it, or is
that? Yeah.
I
mean, I think about things too much, so I'll probably be afraid of it when it comes to just like jumping off. But I guess
Yeah, I don't think I could be doing that. I'm a little chicken when it comes to heights. Okay, so my next question to you: what is your favorite way to spend your free time?
Spend my free time. Well, most of the time I like to play basketball with a group of friends. Maybe some Netflix. Just chill with friends, I guess.
Netflix and chill, right? That's what you guys call it?
No, just chill with friends or watch Netflix by myself or play basketball.
Well, you seem like a basketball kind of guy too. Okay, so who is the most creative and exciting person you know?
Oh damn, that's a good question. I don't know. Let's see. The most creative and what?
The most creative and exciting person you know. Apart from yourself, because I'm pretty sure you think you're
That's pretty creative. I mean, I have no idea. I don't know how to answer that question. I can't think of anybody.
Okay.
I know a lot of creative people.
Alrighty. So, next question then. What emotion do you have the most trouble expressing?
Oh, definitely my feelings.
Your feelings. Okay.
Like I can be sensitive sometimes, but I don't like to be sensitive. I
You
guess.
like to you like to be seen or as a tough guy, kind of cool guy.
Not exactly.
Alrighty. So, what is something new you tried recently and you loved?
Something new I tried recently. Let me see.
And don't tell me it was baking a cake.
No, it wasn't. um,
Have you tried
something
anything?
new I tried.
Pandemic.
I guess meet new people, sort of.
Okay.
Can't really think of anything else.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for all those answers. Now, there you have it, guys. You get to know a little bit more about Hector. So, if you are interested in knowing more about him, you could just go ahead and send them a message. Send a message through here if you have any questions for our crew, and we'll be glad to ask them those questions and maybe get them answered. Until next time, we'll meet another crew member. Happy Sabbath, guys.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So, thank you guys so much. It was also really fun getting to know a little bit more about Hector. So now we're gonna go finish up our last two questions, and so let's just get started. So, the third question is, why do you think there are so many youth nowadays that choose to have intimacy before marriage? Anybody can answer.
I would like to say, I think it was Diego that mentioned it before about it's like a popularity contest, right? So, or like something where you don't want to feel left out or behind. We think that maybe experiencing certain things at an earlier time will make us more wise or will, open doors for us that will help us make sense of things or, I guess it's just out of curiosity too. It could be a bunch of different things, really, completely unrelated to popularity, completely unrelated to curiosity, and maybe even peer pressure. So many different things can influence that. But in the end, it's all about where the person's heart is at, and if the person is just thinking about what they think they want rather than what they need and what's most important, then they just go along with the flow. They just go with the flow. And if the other person, the other significant other is, experiencing the same type of feelings and wants to go through with it, then they feel like nothing is going to stop them because they're in the moment, they're right there, and they're just going to let it happen. So it's so many different things that can influence that, I think.
Thank you so much for that answer. So, does anybody else have anything to add on to Saturday, or anybody have their own answers? Genesis, Perez, Abby, Laudy, Hector.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The question is, one second. The question is, why do you think there are so many youth nowadays that choose to have intimacy before marriage?
I'm gonna go with a lot of people think it's lost its importance. Like a lot of people think it's the old-fashioned way, and it doesn't even matter if I wait anymore. I experience different guys. Like, what if you like this one more than the other? What if this one's more experienced? Like, I've heard of that so many times, and I always look at them like they're insane. Because I would never think as finding out whether somebody else is better than the other as like a hobby or a curiosity type of thing. So I'm gonna go with that one. People are just curious to see what's out there, not just keeping it for one person strictly.
Thank you so much for that answer. So now we're gonna have somebody else answer. Genesis, Perez, Abby, Hector, or Diego. Do you guys have any answers or anything to add on?
I can add on. I also agree with Sari and Lottie how they're saying a lot of it is like peer pressure or um, it's just the generation things. They think, oh yeah, that's old news. Everything's new now. Everything's different. So it's better to try new things. Or like some people just saying, oh, how are you gonna know if it's gonna be good if you don't even try it? Like I know a few people that told me that, and yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Diego,
I want to add something really quick. Sorry.
it's fine.
A little bit onto what Hector said, about like peer pressure and all that. So I feel like a lot of people, they like to determine their relationship standards through sex. And they like to say, oh, this is one of the requirements or one of the conditions that you have to be good doing this so that I can stay with you, because if you're not, then bye, you know? And I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's what I think. And you guys are more than welcome to comment about what you think about that. But I think that that's something that also causes people to have premarital sex.
Thank you so much. Yes, remember, guys, you guys can answer from home as well. Also, Mimi just got here, so I'm gonna repeat the question for her. The question is, why do you think there are so many youth nowadays that choose to have intimacy before marriage? So that's the question that we're asking right now.
I think since like everyone is doing it, people just follow. So I guess they don't get like picked on or like they don't feel some type of way about it, because
Yeah.
it's always gonna be people that are judging no matter what you do, either good or bad. So I feel like they do it to fit in, but it also has consequences because you could get pregnant, you could you could get like made fun of because of it, you could get judged because of it. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in my school that do it before marriage because it's convenient for them. But at the end of the day, you're gonna get consequences no matter what. So
Definitely.
most people do it to fit in. Most people do it for the pleasure of it and for the feeling of it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Thank you for that answer. So, does anybody else have anything to add on or anything just to say?
Sorry. Oh, go ahead, Diego.
I'm just trying. Okay, my mic's off. Yay, or on. So I just think that a lot of people, they do it because, like, I have a feeling that they probably hear not to do it, probably from their parents or some wise adult. But what do teenagers want to do? They like to do the opposite. I mean, let's just face it, teenagers, they don't like to listen to anybody. They think, oh, I'm 15 or 16 years old, that I'm a big man now, I can take care of it myself. They think that they can take care of the consequences too, but in reality, they can. So I think that they just think that just because they're in their teens that they can handle it or handle the consequences, and they think they're able to do it, but they can't. So it's like I guess it's that way. They just want to go against what other people think and just want to prove something, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Sarah, you were gonna add something?
I was just gonna add about like just in reality, just let's take a minute to think about how God would feel about us getting involved in premarital sex, knowing that we're not supposed to be doing it. I mean, there's others that may not know. It's possible that they're not educated on that area, but like just imagine for those that know that we're not supposed to, and then we do. It's like ultimately, how do we make God feel? Do we just do it just because we know that He's gonna forgive us? It's just like any other sin. Does that give us a window to just sin and do whatever we want? We just gotta keep that in mind. That everything that we do, it's like how Diego was saying earlier. Always keep in mind what would Jesus do, so that we can get that real connection and we can truly like decide whether our actions are reflecting the image of Jesus and if we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so if nobody else has anything to add on, Jael, Genesis, Reynoso, Laudi?
Wait, what was the question?
The question is, why do you think there are so many youth nowadays that choose to have intimacy before marriage?
All right. So, I think because basically what everyone else says that it's like a competition. They feel like they're like up there, like, oh, I got this much, I hit this much people, if you know what I mean. Hit this much people, and like I'm better, and everyone likes me. All the boys or all the girls like me because I'm so attractive and I could pull people and this and that. But it's that it's all in their heads. Like, you don't need to give up yourself just to show them love or whatever they want to show, for you to show them that you love them, that you're in love with them, that you care for them and all of that, or you will do anything for them. But that's not the case. Like, they just need to relax and like not think about that, because that's not important. It's like a one thing, and then maybe it's not even the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life, or the guy doesn't want to, but the guy who doesn't want to be in your life. So that's.
Thank you. So, if nobody else has anything to add on, we're going to move on to the next question. So, the last question is, what are some ways that could fight off peer pressure when it comes to intimacy? Anybody can answer.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time, please?
Yes. The question is, what are some ways that could fight off peer pressure when it comes to intimacy?
That's a hard question, because peer pressure is something you like probably experience every day and you see it firsthand every day. So I think that we just have to be concerned with the way that our connection and our relationship with God is. Like, we have to only think about what He would think about us, and not what other people will have to say. Because in the end, if you let people dictate your life, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to have true happiness. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to get you your career. They're not going to do anything for you. So if we continue to let people that really have no importance in our life, and cannot negatively or positively affect your future, then
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, anybody else have anything to add on?
I'll go. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Sarai. I feel like people let people what? I feel like people let others judge them, like, and judge them on what they do, and they allow others input in their lives have an impact when it really shouldn't, because it doesn't really matter what they think, you know. And I feel like we just need to surround ourselves with people that have the same mentality, same mindset, same goals, and know what is right from wrong. It doesn't have to be necessarily like us, that we're all the same religion, because there's other people that are not the same religion, but they still believe the same thing we believe. You understand? But yeah.
Thank you for that answer. That was really good. So does anybody else have anything to add on? Yeah.
I kind of want to also, I guess, put out with your question. It's like, what if that peer pressure is somebody that is important to you? Like, what if it's your best friend telling you, do it? Like, you're gonna, like, what if it's somebody that's really, really important to you that's actually pressuring you to be involved? What would you do? Like, how would you guys handle that?
That's true. But you know what? Either way, I feel like no matter the person, it's your choice. You know what is right. So you can't always go by somebody else.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to add on to what Sarai just said?
Yeah, what was the question again? Sorry.
Which one? Sarai's question or my question?
Yeah. What was the question again?
The question that I had was the same as yours. Alanis, but instead of just like any peer pressure, random peer pressure, it's more like a person of significance. So like an important person in your life that's peer pressuring you. So you can just tell him that.
Also, like if someone is peer pressuring you to do it.
Or like a close friend of yours.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, see, the thing about that is like, hey, a friend could be like peer pressuring you, but if it's someone like close, I feel like that's even worse because like, how you gonna like try to force someone into doing that with you before marriage? You know, knowing that's not right because there's a lot of consequences that come with that as a teenager. You know, you're not ready to support a kid financially or like, way. So I just feel like it's just not the right choice to like, you know, continue having that type of a relationship and like, you know, just trying to force someone into to having sex like that because it's just not right in any way. So I feel like just get away from that, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
problem, you know.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, does anybody else have anything to add?
I feel like even if they're your close friend, you know what you want. So it doesn't matter if they're a stranger or your close friend. If you don't like it, you're not going to take it. Nobody can force you to do anything you don't want to do. And if you do it, it's because you wanted to and you liked it and you agreed with it. Like nobody can make you do something that you don't want, even if it's your best friend. So if you did it, it's because you wanted to and it was your choice to do it. Unless, you know, like extreme cases, but the point is that even if it is your close friend, that shouldn't affect anything of how you feel. Like it's just your opinion. You should always stick to what your gut says first.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think we don't have anybody else that needs to answer. I'm pretty sure. So that's all the questions that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for participating. We definitely learned a lot, and I hope you guys learned something from home as well. Thank you guys so much for participating, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. Bye.
I just want to read a couple messages. Betsy says that it can be the same person you like that tells you if you love me, you would do it. That's crazy. And then Betsy also says, but if that person really loves you, they will wait. So that's two crazy things. It's like, forget about it being your best friend. What if it's the actual person that you're with, that actually tries to convince you that this is what you should do and this is what you need to do? And now we can probably say, oh yeah, no, if that person makes me do it or tries to pressure me into doing it, I'll cut that person off. But think about try to see if you were in the actual moment. Will you say the same thing? We have to always make sure that we don't let love blind us and we don't let ourselves be hypnotized by things like that, or like that it makes us get away from our reality. So I really love what Abby said. I love what all of you guys said. It's all about you. You have to make this decision. And for you to be equipped enough to make this decision, we have to be close to Christ and we have to have that spiritual relationship with God so that we know how to make these good decisions later on. And I just wanted to go with that last comment that said, but if the person really loves you, they will wait. That if the person really loves you, they will wait. You are worth waiting for. You are worth all your decisions. If your decision is to wait and somebody tries to make you feel bad about it, know that you are valuable because somebody else is going to be waiting for somebody like you. So always remember that you guys are all precious gems, daughters and sons of the King, and you guys are valuable. And although temptations may arise and it's going to be difficult to overcome it, but here we can develop real connections. Outside of here, we can develop real connections. And you guys can be an example to others to help other people overcome those kinds of temptations. So I want to thank all of you guys for participating. You guys all did wonderful. All your responses were wonderful. And I'm sure that when other people get a chance to view this later, it will be super helpful. And you guys are awesome to give advice to other people as well. So don't underestimate yourselves, because what you guys just did here, spread that to the world. Because those advice that you just gave right now, anybody else can benefit from that if they weren't able to watch this. So remember, get a real connection with Christ, have that real connection, and you can go ahead and change the world and your perspective on life. But we're going to have one last thing before we conclude.
it's our turn.
Welcome to our today's news.
We will have articles,
comments,
reports,
announcements,
newsflash,
and much more. My name is Genesis Reynoso.
Well, Genesis, what is our first news?
Well, our healthy topic for this week is the chia seeds.
There are many benefits that we would like to share with all of you.
Jael, do you know that chia seeds deliver a massive amount of nutrients with very few calories?
No, I didn't know. Wow, that is nice. Genesis, do you know that chia seeds are also loaded with antioxidants?
That is excellent.
And that the high fiber and protein content in chia seeds may help you lose weight.
Also, did you guys know that chia seeds are high in quality protein and they are good for your bones? And what he just said, that is amazing as well. I know I said that, but I would like to also share that chia seeds also contain a decent amount of zinc, vitamin B3, potassium, vitamin B1, and vitamin B2, and much more.
All right, hey guys, in fact, chia seeds contain more omega-3 than salmon.
Giles.
Don't do that.
Come on, please keep on. Están en vivo, Genesis.
Giles, listen. All right, Giles. Yeah, you go.
All right.
Yes, sigue.
All right, chia seeds are 40%.
Oh my God.
Whew. Chia seeds are 40% fiber by weight, making them one of the best sources of fiber in the world.
All right, my bad. Yes, Giles.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Corten eso, corten
Yes,
eso. ¿Pero qué le pasó a usted?
Thank you so much for sharing about chia seeds. I am sure that we will have an awesome report for next week about chia seeds and how they can help us. We know that the chia seeds have pretty good benefits, and we're excited to hear from them next week about what they can do for us. Genesis, would you like to have a couple of closing words before we end?
Sure. Thank you guys for joining us, and we hope to see you next week at 3 p.m. And don't forget to check out our lives every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. and our podcast on Spotify. Thank you guys for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.